We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. The 2026 LGBTQ Marketplace Guide highlights the community's $1.4 trillion buying power, digital influence, and national recognition of South Florida outlets OutClick and Out South Florida.
An Ohio teen is charged with murder after allegedly fatally stabbing his adoptive father and critically injuring the man's husband. Police say the attack is not being investigated as a hate crime.
Colorado Governor Jared Polis signed a new law banning conversion therapy practices targeting LGBTQ youth. This will expand survivor protections and block public funding for harmful programs during Pride Month.
Conservative attacks targeting Texas Senate candidate James Talarico have expanded to his Austin church over its LGBTQ outreach, AIDS awareness efforts, social justice partnerships, and support for marginalized communities.
Houston police identified 33-year-old transgender woman Persia Amarra Conway after her body was found near Bayou. Authorities are investigating the possible homicide while family and community mourn her loss. All this important LGBTQ+ news and more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified that Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 12 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice and our rainbow family. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Tuesday, June 2nd. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate on the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America. Hotspots Happening Out South Florida. In 2026, our magazine is celebrating 41 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 14,000 LGBTQ television stories.
We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fest. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2026, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ community. Let's meet this evening's anchors on Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Brian Bender. Brian is a true South Florida local. He is an educator, community leader, and strong voice in the education, history, and public policy. He teaches in Broward County Public Schools, holds a bachelor's and master's degree in education, and a postdoctorate degree in leadership, and serves on the Fort Lauderdale Education Advisory Board. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Thank you so much for having me. So we meet again here, gentlemen. I'm
We
so
do.
excited,
Yes.
but I'm actually more excited for the coffee cake that's sitting right here on the table. So it's somebody's birthday today.
There you go.
And we just are looking for a knife. If somebody can find that for us,
Because we're not allowed to have them.
because we're not allowed to have them.
Too shy.
We've been told sharp objects not good. But anyway, thank you so much. And if I have some crumbs, you'll know what I'm eating. So thanks for having me.
Let's welcome anchor Glen Weinzimer. He has been a South Florida advocate for over 30 years, raising awareness and more than $16 million for the HIV/AIDS community for 20 plus years. He is also a travel director and corporate events planner. Welcome to the show, Glenn.
Thank you, Greg, and happy birthday.
Thank you
We are
so
so happy
much.
to celebrate tonight with packaged cinnamon coffee cake brought to you by our friends at Trader Joe's. It's great to be back. I've been on the road nonstop since January and made a few appearances, but
We miss you.
thank you.
too.
So I'm back, and I'm going to be gone again in 2 days, and then I'll be back for one of the last shows in June, and then you got me all summer. Are we going on hiatus?
No.
Just
Nice
checking.
haircut.
It's good to see you back.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad to be back and see all of you.
Really.
Let's welcome anchor Gregg Shapiro, an inductee into the Chicago LGBT Hall of Fame. Gregg is an entertainment journalist whose celebrity interviews and reviews have run in a variety of regional LGBTQ publications and websites. Welcome to the show, Gregg. And I have to say, you know, for someone who is extremely well-read, I should say, and now well-aged, just like a first edition Perfect Binding.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Well, I can't think of a better way
How
to
old are
spend
you?
my birthday than to be here with y'all.
I could think of some.
And I can't think of a better way to spend the day after my birthday than be doing a Pride reading with Julie Marie Wade and Caridad Moro Grunlier at 6:30 p.m. on June 3rd at Ben Zeiton Art Center, 1105 2nd Avenue South in Lake Worth Beach. Please be there.
Just
if you-
around the
if you love
corner.
me.
Just around the corner.
yeah.
I'll
Does
walk
Bright
there.
Line stop there?
I think so.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Vaughn Biggs. Vaughn is a force in the LGBTQ plus and HIV justice communities, using his skills as a national speaker, writer, and passionate HIV empowerment advocate. He pushes back against stigma and complacency with unapologetic truth. Vaughn is the Community Engagement Coordinator for Holy Cross Health, Executive Committee member for the National HIV Aging Advocacy Network, and a founding board member of TransEd. Vaughn, Holy Cross Silver Pride Gathering celebrates LGBTQ plus stories on June 12th. Tell me, what's happening out?
That's right, Brian. Holy Cross Health will host its June Silver Pride Gathering on Friday, June 12th from noon to 2 p.m. at the Mangrove Education Room, designed for the LGBTQ plus adults ages 50 and older. The free event offers welcoming space for connection, storytelling, and community support during Pride Month. This month's discussion theme is Our Stories, Our Strength, focusing on lived experiences and resilience. Attendees will also hear from a special guest speaker discussing philanthropy and creating a lasting legacy. Lunch will be provided. Seating is limited. You can RSVP by emailing me at vaughn.biggs@holy-cross.com. I'm really excited about this. This is actually ending our whole first year of doing Silver Pride. So an announcement that's coming, that will be coming out, is coming soon, is that we're going to be changing the date based on some requests for some people, and which is going to be really great. So we'll be going into year 2, still at the same building, but it will be an evening affair instead of a lunch. So I think that's going to be really great. Everybody's really excited about it. So more details to come on that, but I'm really excited.
I love that. And, you know, I was just noticing, I made a little note here. I think it's so appropriate that you're holding it in the Mangrove Room. Was that intentional?
Well, no, it's funny because we're in the Family Health Center, which was the after they had remodeled that after that used to be 5601 North Dixie, but we now call it the Family Health Center. And they've come up with these room names, and it
Well, I
just
think
happened
it's
to be
very
Mangrove. It's
appropriate.
very, if you've never been in there, it's very artsy. It's got couches. It's very loungy.
You weren't on
No
the
media
community.
TV.
You had nothing to do with the design. or
None.
anything.
I didn't have anything to do with it at all. No.
He did wink at me earlier, so are you going to give me a little wink and be like, yeah, I was?
Well, I thought you said you were over 50, that you were coming.
You know,
Even I know not to
You
do
know
that.
what? I'm almost 40. Don't age me. But you know what? I think some guys that are over 50 are very sexy. Yes, Glenn, yes. I think they're very sexy. So
Yes.
you know what? No shade taken, even if there was some intended.
No.
Well, I have to say thanks to Vaughn and Holy Cross. I'm so silver proud. I'm practically glowing.
Oh,
Look at you on your birthday glowing like that.
yes. Beautiful, Mary.
It's beautiful,
Wow.
Mary.
Close us out, Brian.
Oh, well, anyway, we've all commented on that. So Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Silver Pride Gathering on June 12th.
I'm Von Biggs, and let's queer up gay culture. 2026 LGBTQ Marketplace Guide highlights community's 1.4 trillion economic power. The newly released 2026 LGBTQ Marketplace Guide is more than a report. It is a reflection of who we are today and how far we have come. 20 years ago, our community lived largely in the margins of media and marketing. A handful of print magazines, a few early websites, limited visibility. But today, that story has completely changed. We are now a 30 million plus strong community in the United States with an estimated $1.4 trillion in buying power. That is not just influence, that is undeniably economic power, and we power it. The guide highlights that 87% of LGBTQ adults are active on social media daily, and that digital platforms have become the heartbeat of our culture, our connection, and our advocacy. This is where our stories are told. This is where movements are built, and this is where visibility becomes transformation. But tonight, we celebrate something even more personal, because right here in South Florida, our voices are being recognized on a national level. Two of our own publications, OutClick and Out South Florida, are featured in this national guide as key regional media outlets shaping LGBTQ storytelling in the United States. South Florida voices on a national stage, that matters. This guide makes something very clear. We are no longer a niche, we are a force. The LGBTQ plus community has transformed the landscape. Additionally, the data shows that over 70% of LGBTQ consumers actively support brands that support us. That means our voices move markets, shape culture, and create accountability. This is not just progress, this is a legacy, and this is only the beginning. You know, I think it's very interesting, and when I read through the whole thing, it's not it's not massive in size. It's pretty easy to read, but it's got some very interesting statistics. And one of them was, you know, in 2004, we were only 450 billion. You know, and so 20 years
Buying
later,
power.
yeah, buying
20-something
power.
years.
So I look at it as when I go in, and we've seen this where we have boycotted national chains or something, and they've turned their coats on it, right? And we've often said this, just Pride Alone Month, showing up at Pride Month is not enough. Be there every year, every day of every year, and then maybe we'll support you.
Are we allowed to go to Target anymore? Like,
No.
No Target?
Still
I don't
time
like
out.
them anyway.
Yeah, still
I'm giving, they're in timeout with me.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, no.
Oh, hell no.
Okay, no
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Anybody
No
else we need to
Uline.
be aware?
Uline.
The worst of all.
What's Uline?
You
Packaging.
Yeah.
Uline.
They are in
No.
ULINE.
Tell the truth.
Oh, okay.
ULINE.
Okay.
Boycott it every chance you get. They are the most evil people on earth.
Yes.
Truly, seriously.
They-
Well,
supply
I
every-
deliver personal
Trillionaires.
packages. I
Oh.
don't send packages in the mail. So
Well,
Take
your
that how you
package
will.
fit in any mailbox.
Yes, but allow me to say how proud I am to be a contributing writer to Out South Florida. So it's nice
Yes.
to see them get the mention they deserve. And have you noticed there isn't a Mississippi Marketplace Guide or a Montana Marketplace Guide? Because I'm pretty sure they're not really contributing much, but we are.
In our little niche of South Florida in a much larger state.
Well, and in but the LGBT
LGBT community,
we
but
are
statewide,
contributing.
we're
yeah.
wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're just wonderful people. So anyway, close this
I
up.
love having great stories like
I
this.
do
So,
too.
yeah.
I'm Brian Bender, and let's queer up the USA View. Gay Ohio father fatally stabbed, teen son charged with murder. An Ohio teenager is accused of fatally stabbing his adoptive father and critically injuring the man's husband. The attack is now under investigation by the Columbus Division of Police. Police say 58-year-old Mark Rayburn Velko was stabbed on May 24th and later died from his injuries. His husband, Brent Rayburn Velko, was also stabbed and suffered severe but non-fatal injuries. Authorities launched an hours-long search before apprehending the couple's 17-year-old adoptive son later that evening. The teenager has been charged with murder and felony assault. As he has not been charged as an adult, his identity has not been released. Investigators say the stabbing is not currently being treated as a hate crime or a bias-related attack. In a social media post, Brent Rayburn Velko wrote that his husband's murder broke his heart, quote, into a million pieces. Wow, this is terrible. There's nothing you can really say when people's lives are taken, before what we perceive to be their time. They didn't live to old age. They were murdered. And I want to say whoever was affected by their untimely deaths, I'm very sorry to that community and to that family. And I hope that the young person, that the adoptive son who did this, I hope he has a damn good reason as to why he felt he needed to do this when he gets to court. Because there's really no excuse for murder. So I just
horrific.
horrific.
I mean, the second husband of the survivor. I mean, he suffered such severe, non-life threatening wounds, but severe wounds that it appears that it would, from my perspective, like he would have been happy to kill both of them. So you're right. This is horrific, and the fact that this happened, they do need to look into it. Is it mental? Is it abuse? Was it? There's 1,000 things that it could have been.
Right.
Yep.
It's a shocking and tragic story.
Absolutely. So
I'm Glen Weinzimer, and let's queer up trans rights. Colorado signs new LGBTQ plus conversion therapy protections after Supreme Court ruling. Colorado Governor Jared Polis has signed a new law strengthening protections for queer youth against conversion therapy, just 2 months after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down the state's previous ban on the practice. The law, known as HB 26-1322, was signed Monday in Denver on the first day of Pride Month. It prohibits therapists from imposing a predetermined outcome regarding a young person's sexual orientation or gender identity. Polis said, quote, conversion therapy is harmful, can traumatize kids, and is a scam to waste people's hard-earned money. This new law provides Coloradoans who have been subject to the dehumanizing treatment with the tools to heal and move on to live strong, healthy, and authentic lives, end quote. The new law also gives survivors more time to file malpractice claims tied to conversion therapy. Colorado lawmakers introduced the bill after the Supreme Court ruled in March that the state's earlier conversion therapy ban was not viewpoint neutral. Polis also signed an executive order directing state agencies to ensure no public funding is used for conversion therapy programs. So, Governor Polis emphasized that conversion therapy is a scam to waste people's hard-earned money and a dehumanizing treatment. The new law not only stops ongoing abuses, but also appears to provide survivors with opportunities to seek legal recourse. This enables survivors to pursue accountability and facilitates healing, allowing individuals to live strong, healthier lives. Additionally, the governor's executive order ensures that no public money will fund conversion therapy in Colorado. It's a small step to normalize a bigger national problem. Bottom line, let families and individuals live their lives. That's just what I have to say about it. And I wanted to say, and I'm so worried that I actually had him type it out for me in advance.
Well, I think that's wonderful what the governor is doing in Colorado. We were talking, I think about a week ago, about how transgender inmates in Vermont and Colorado are actually able to be if you're going to do a crime and you're going to serve the time, you're going to be able to serve it in a place that affirms your gender identity and keeps you safe. So I want to say bravo to you, Governor in Colorado, Polis. You're a real mensch, as they would say. And conversion therapy doesn't work. I mean, look at us at the table. There's no getting the gay out of us.
No.
So you could try, but I think it's a losing proposition.
And how many stories have we done at this table about conversion therapy? It seems like, especially in other countries, there's just way too many.
It is too many. And the expense, the idea of the expense.
Well, there's the expense of the state, and there's no proven
psychological expense too of what happens to the people.
It seems to be so 1920s or 1800s to try to think that you can change somebody by putting them into conversion therapy and intense. I want to know how many of them are having affairs with each other while they're going through therapy.
Right.
Right.
And do you think Polis could be a potential 2028 POTUS or VP candidate? How about the Bashir Polis ticket?
I love that. I love that. For me, I think that he's giving the right-wing haters a lot to chew on with everything that he's doing in Colorado.
Yeah.
So he definitely has a wonderful record for us queer folks.
Mm-hmm.
And I love him. And I think anybody who's progressive enough to see what he's doing in Colorado is very appreciative. Allies as well. I just don't know how that would translate, on a national scale when people say, this is what he did in Colorado. He let the queers be queer, So good
I don't
on
think
him
he has
for
enough
being
of a
brave.
national
Right.
bandstand at this point, or popelet to speak from, that people know who he is in order to be able to take him to that national level of becoming POTUS.
Because even like somebody like Pete Buttigieg, who is openly gay and married to his husband, who is a teacher, teachers are wonderful, thank you, I think is less controversial than maybe some of the things that the governor in Colorado is doing, who I don't think identifies as a gay man.
Straight.
No.
But I think that Pete Buttigieg kind of knows how to read the room in a certain way in terms of his national aspirations.
Well, and Pete is so well-spoken and has a record that's hard to match by any straight
Unassailable.
man. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's politically savvy. He's militarily, experienced. He's
Not bad to look at.
He's easy on the eyes. He's cute with his husband. I mean, he has a lot of things, though, from an education standpoint. And when you see him speak and address someone who disagrees with him, how well he does it. There aren't a lot of people that can do that. Stephen Colbert, maybe. But but there aren't a lot of people that can take something as being attacked and turn it around and almost sympathize while telling you why you're wrong. I just think he's brilliant.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to try to follow that because you're a good speaker.
And we're not even talking about Pete. We're talking about transgender rights.
But no, exactly. So why did I take us off topic?
Right.
I don't know, but I love it.
Well, anyway.
I'm Gregg Shapiro, and let's queer up politics. Right-wing scrutiny intensifies around James Talarico and his Austin church. Conservative criticism surrounding Texas Senate candidate James Talarico has now expanded to his church, St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church in Austin. A recent article published by an American right-wing media company, The Daily Wire, described St. Andrew's as a woke Austin church, pointing to ministries and outreach programs highlighted on the church's website. The report focused on the church's partnerships with organizations supporting social justice and reproductive health initiatives, including Planned Parenthood. The article also examined the church's Field of Hope project, launched in 1993 to raise awareness about the AIDS epidemic and its impact on Texas communities. The initiative reflects the church's long-standing outreach to people affected by HIV and AIDS, as well as other marginalized groups. The Daily Wire also attempted to connect the project to the Lilith Fund, a nonprofit that helps Texans seeking abortion care travel outside the state. Texas has banned nearly all abortions since 2022. The article says the organization provides, quote, money for Texans to travel out of state to kill their unborn babies, end quote. Another Daily Wire report alleged the church distributed sexually explicit books to children through its library collection of frequently challenged LGBTQ-themed titles, including Genderqueer, All Boys Aren't Blue, and The Courage to Be Queer. Conservative political attacks on Talarico, particularly over his support for trans and queer rights, have intensified since Attorney General Ken Paxton defeated incumbent U.S. Senator John Cornyn in the Republican primary. Okay, so the words woke, Austin church, are three that should always go together in the same sentence. There's nothing wrong with being woke, and Austin is the coolest blue spot in the Lone Star State. Part of me thinks that Talarico might be too good for Texas, that they deserve that fucking hateful bastard Paxton. However, I am hopeful, because my sister and brother-in-law live in Austin, that the people of Texas and those like them will surprise and delight all of us.
Well, I was going to say good people of Austin are going to vote for him.
Of course,
because they, this Daily Wire, they're trying to make him sound so weird, but isn't the whole tagline of Austin, keep Austin weird? So if you think he's weird, you think he's whatever.
He's right at home.
He's right at home.
But that's just a small section of the state.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Big
well, that's
state.
like South Florida to Florida. It still can make an impact. And I think Houston and Dallas have become a little less conservative over the last couple of years. I've had to go there a lot lately in the last 2 years, and I see them a little bit more open and receptive, and maybe that has to do with our national politics right now. But
Houston had a lesbian mayor.
Yeah. So there's some hope there.
It's the heat. Makes everybody
And-
lesbian or gay.
And it just goes back to like, why be so angry? Like, what did anybody do? It's a church that's preaching God's word, and yet you're attacking it because it's open to all.
Yeah.
And, like we live right here. We're broadcasting from Sunshine Cathedral. I mean, it doesn't mean because you're a church that you're anti-gay, that you're woke, any of those things. It just says we're accepting and welcoming to all people, and that's not a bad thing.
Well, and I'm not playing devil's advocate, but and a big but, and I do have a big but. There are people that believe that unless you are the type of Christian that they are, they have a monopoly on Christianity. So they don't think that what these people are doing at this liberalish kind of church, this quote unquote woke church, is actually fulfilling the requirement of being a religious space. Because unless you hate the way that they hate and hate the people that they hate, you're not doing it right, quote unquote.
But can't you say that about all religious groups?
Well, I could say that about all extremists.
Okay, because I would say there are extremists.
I think extremists. I don't think it's all religious groups, because I think that there are Christian denominations such as this one. There are Jewish organizations.
Welcoming.
There's more moderate Muslim
Right.
people. So it's when religion gets taken over and hijacked by extremists. You have Talibangelicals, you have Christo-fascists, you have, I can't think of something punny for, other religions, but you have hardliners in every religion. And when the hardliners want to cast their judgment onto, another group of people, they're going to say those people aren't really the real people, and we are, and we represent that. So I think it's really a battle of ideas, and it's unfortunate because, I'm not a Christian, I'm a Jewish person, but I have to say that if I was a Christian, I would look for a church like this. I wouldn't go to a hardline church that's going to make me feel bad sitting in their pews or try to change me or send me to conversion therapy. So,
And you think about Christians judging.
They don't
And I
do
think
that.
I think there's actually, if they read the Bible, that's what they shouldn't be doing.
Judge not.
No.
Well, they're reading a different Bible.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Oh.
or you are.
It's being interpreted by somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, let's not go down that road. I'm Vaughn Biggs, and let's queer up the USA view. Transgender woman found near Houston Bayou identified as 33-year-old Persia Amarra Conway. Houston police have identified the transgender woman whose body was discovered near Brays Bayou as 33-year-old Persia Amarra Conway. Conway's identity was first confirmed on Friday by Blackout magazine with the help of social media posts from her family. In a Facebook post, Conway's mother, Michelle P. Simmons, remembered her daughter as kind-hearted, funny, and headstrong, like her mama. She mourned the loss of her daughter and at the hands of a monster. Simmons also thanked members of the transgender community, friends, family, and strangers for their support during the investigation. Houston police began investigating after Conway's body was found beside Brays Bayou last week on Monday morning. Authorities previously said they believed the victim was a transgender woman between 24 and 30 years old and were treating the case as a possible homicide. Investigators are also examining whether the body may have been moved before being discovered. Police have not released information about the suspect, motive, or cause of death. The investigation remains ongoing. And I feel like they shouldn't release that information until they know, because when they start saying things that may not be true, that's when we find out there's something more to the story.
Other circumstances.
So then what do we really talk about here other than just saying we are so sorry for the loss of a
Human being.
beautiful human being for whatever reason? I want to be respectful to the family's wishes, to not, conjecture about, the cause of death, other than to say that anytime a young person dies, it's always before
Tragic.
the time that they really should have. You know, if there is such a thing as a time that we're supposed to go, I like to think that, you know, we should all live to old age and be healthy
Right.
and happy.
But we got to remember that transgender people are being attacked at an alarming rate. And so, you know, being found on the side of the Bayou is sort of like, it sounds suspicious, whether and again, like you said, and so you know all the details,
Right.
but you hate that this just becomes another number, and representing a group of people that have done no harm,
Right.
in her case, that we know
Right.
of.
And she sounded like a wonderful young lady, and our heart goes out to her.
Yes.
Just, it's tragic. It's
Right.
just tragic.
And we still remember the name. LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up gay culture. Health benefits behind viral gay speed walking. A long-running stereotype that gay men walk faster than straight men is sparking fresh conversation after health experts highlighting the benefits of brisk walking. Experts say brisk walking places greater demand on the heart, lungs, and muscles, improving cardiovascular health. A UK study of more than 400,000 adults also found that a faster walking pace could result in a biological age up to 16 years younger by midlife. So while gay speed may have started as a humorous stereotype, it could carry real health benefits. You know, speed walking, I mean, we didn't know this was beneficial already. I thought we did, but I love the idea of calling it a gay speed walking.
My mother always says to me, Brian, I can't keep up with you. Slow down. And I always thought it was because I lived in New York, you know, but now I realize it's because I'm gay.
Oh,
so I didn't know
exactly.
that was a thing.
I didn't know that it was one of our stereotypes.
I didn't
It
either.
went right past me. I knew I walked fast because people would threaten me, like, I'm going to kick your ass, you're
Right,
queer.
yeah.
And so Kenny Mascarella, wherever you are these days, 50 years later, 60 years later, you're the reason I walk fast.
So,
Because I
why you're
home
healthier.
every day.
no, it's because you're gay.
It is, but that's probably what saved my life. And we can out
right.
because I made it to the house, slammed the door before any of them
It was
could
an
catch me.
adaptation.
Well, I think maybe gay speed walking is most common when there's maybe a hot man a few paces
That's
ahead of the walker, so you want to catch up to them.
My grandparents used to take me to the Sawgrass Mills Mall. If anybody's familiar, it's like 10 miles of indoor walking.
Yes.
And we used to walk around all day. We wouldn't buy a single thing because we're Jewish. But anyway, but we walked around.
There's such good deals
we
there.
got our cardio in. We did. So
All I can say is at the intersections, we need people to walk with knees to chest when they're crossing the street,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Knees to
People
chest,
are
people.
so
Keep
Exactly.
moving.
Move it.
it's like,
Right.
really?
Move it.
Don't they know I'm in my car and I have the right of way?
Exactly.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up gay culture. Nasty Pig Pride message defends kink, drag, and full LGBTQ expression. LGBTQ apparel brand Nasty Pig is drawing attention for its Pride Month social media posts, urging the community to support all forms of queer expression. In a letter posted by founder and CEO David Lauderstein, the company referenced the Stonewall Uprising and warned against what it called growing self-policing within the LGBTQ community. Lauderstein wrote, quote, "Once you erase kink at Pride, drag's next, then flags, then parades." The message also criticized efforts to tone down queer identities to appear more socially acceptable, calling visibility, quote, "an act of resistance," end quote. The post has sparked conversation online as debates continue over what Pride celebrations should represent. Well, here's my hot take on this. I think in certain localities, bring in the kink. If you're in San Francisco, if you're in maybe even in Los Angeles, I don't know, wherever they do kinky stuff, whatever. But if you're going to market, LGBTQ rights and acceptance as a mainstream kind of thing, I would say maybe keep it PG-13. There's going to be children at Pride events. And I have seen, and I'm being honest here, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but I feel that there are certain segments of the gay community that do use these parades as elaborate mating dances for sexual escapades. I don't think that that's necessarily where we should go as a community. I don't think what we should do is try to be respectable to the straights. I don't think that we should live our lives feeling like we have to gain their approval. But I also think that we sometimes, not all of us, but some of us over-sexualize ourselves and don't say anything, Greg. Some of us may over-sexualize ourselves sometimes. And when we're trying to celebrate, I don't know that you need to be whipping your boyfriend and, simulating or having sex on the street. I'm not saying that that's what this, nasty pig is advocating, but I am going to say I have seen some raunchy things at events that were supposed to be pride events. And I think it should be celebratory, and I don't think it should be sexualatory.
Well, I also don't think that our community is on its own doing all these things. That straight communities also have exact same things happening. 50 Shades of Grey is a perfect example of things that happen in a straight community. I do agree that we don't necessarily at pride events need to highlight all of the extreme, but I also think that we have a right to show both the conservative, less out, not beating your boyfriend in public, which I would object to. But I think that everyone needs to be represented, and some get on a bigger float with more to say. But I remember growing up and thinking that all gay men, because the only pictures I ever saw were men in San Francisco, on the Pride Parade wearing, mini skirts and, long, tank tops that were way down and very effeminate. And I was like, I can't relate to that. So I do think that Pride does allow people of all types to be able to express themselves. And I agree with what you said, but I also look at it that we need to be representative of all things.
I felt your agreement, and I'm just saying, don't do what you might want to do at Market Days in Chicago or Folsom in San Francisco at a Pride event that's open to the general public. That's just, it might be a very controversial hot take. I get it. I don't think that you should limit or, bring your fire down just to make yourself appealing to everybody. But I am going to say, if it's not super duper appropriate to maybe walk around in public with your stuff exposed, don't do it at a pride parade. Do it at a more specialized event where it's closed to the public and the people that are there are wanting to be in that vibe as well. And sometimes, and I might get hate mail for this, I don't know, but I don't check my email anyway. But I do want to say, are you going to beat me?
No, I was going to write a letter to you.
Don't write me any letters. I won't read it. I don't know how to read it. But anyway, I want to say that there have been times where I feel like, people go to like these wholesome events and they don't read the room, and it's like they're the ones that are going there for some sexual whatever reason, and I don't think that that's what a pride event should be. Represent yourself how you want, but remember, celebrate. It doesn't have to be sex on the street, and it doesn't have to allude to that either. That's all I'm saying.
And I agree with you.
Well, good. I'm glad.
I'm just saying that, that the straight community is just as bad as we are. Yeah. And not bad. I'd say that's not the word.
Watch some of those spring break videos. Yeah. By the way, oink, oink.
Oink, oink. I have my nasty pig hat in the car.
Oink. LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up trans rights. Trans period pride relocates after right-wing backlash. Organizers confirm event not canceled. An annual Massachusetts event focused on menstrual equity for transgender people will continue at a new location after facing right-wing backlash and reports of cancellation. The event, organized by Massachusetts National Organization for Women and the Massachusetts Trans Political Coalition, focuses on challenges faced by transgender people who menstruate. Sasha Goodfriend, Executive Director of Massachusetts National Organization for Women, told them, quote, "We have secured a new location and are finalizing the security plan. Details about the venue and event logistics will be announced next week." End quote. The controversy drew national attention partly because Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, Office of LGBTQ Advancement, was listed as a supporter. Wu has previously been criticized for allegedly using taxpayer money to fund wellness allowances for LGBTQ migrants. I have to admit,
tell us what you think.
Menstrual equity made me pause for a second and maybe giggle. as it did both of you on my sides. That said, it's a serious conversation, a very real issue for transgender people who menstruate.
Sure.
They should have equitable access to basic health necessities. At the same time, I'm glad these conversations are finally happening. For years, many of the challenges faced by transgender people have been treated with a don't ask, don't tell mentality, leaving people to navigate complicated and deeply personal experiences largely on their own. From a mental health perspective, open dialogue matters. Most people going through these experiences don't receive a handbook. They're often figuring things out as they go. The more we can talk about openly and respectfully, the better it is for everyone. But still, menstruating still makes me giggle.
Why did you look at me when you said respectfully? I'm very respectful.
Who said? I was just admiring you.
Oh, thank
Well,
you.
you know, it's,
And it was my only way of looking over without looking.
as someone who lived in Boston for several years, I'm always sort of surprised to hear about this kind of rise. I mean, what do they care? The right-wing people, what do they care about this? But there does seem to be sort of a larger presence of right-wing people in the amazing Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Because
Who are they?
Because
That concerns me.
because they
Toddlers,
don't like
toddlers.
people that menstruate, i.e., people some that identify as women and some that identify as trans men who also menstruate, and they see them all as women, and it goes to their hatred of women.
Misogyny, of course.
Yeah.
Yes,
So there you go. You do.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up trans rights. NYC launches Trans Rights Are Human Rights campaign to kickstart Pride Month. Mayor Zoran Mandani and the New York City Commission on Human Rights announced the Trans Rights Are Human Rights campaign on Monday. The initiative will display informational graphics across public transit, kiosks, and print ads throughout Pride Month, outlining protections under the city's human rights law. The law guarantees the right to use correct names, pronouns, and gender-aligned facilities while banning discrimination in housing, employment, and public spaces. City officials say reported gender discrimination claims have reached a 5-year high, now making up nearly 20% of complaints filed with the Commission on Human Rights. Thank you, Mayor Mamdani and the New York City Commission on Human Rights. Happy Pride.
You know,
Wow.
Again, we said this earlier tonight. Not only just during Pride Month, can we not do this outside of Pride Month? I would
All
encourage,
year.
consider we should be doing their rights are 365 days a year, not 30 days.
Just to be a bit of a political realist here, you know, he's juggling a lot of different constituencies. He's got hardline religious people that practice Islam that are not for LGBTQ rights. I don't think that's a controversial statement. Like, that's just it's not a mainstream position. So I think what he is able to do during Pride Month is to do the right thing for transgendered people. Unfortunately, I don't think it's something that would be politically feasible through the course of the whole year, just because he has to juggle, you know, certain constituencies that absolutely do not
But
support
sometimes
LGBTQ rights.
actions are stronger than words. And if he continues to do the right thing throughout the year, good for him. And I totally understand where you're coming from and where I'm sure he is, that, you know, having an Islamic background and the supporters in New York supporting him, he's got to play that give and take and balance issue of the different types of New Yorkers that make up New York is one of the most liberal places in the world. And he's coming in as someone who would be perceived as conservative just by his name.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is that I'm sure he's getting a lot of flack, even though it's just Pride Month, and I know it's only 1 minute news, but I'm going to say what I want to say. Even though it's Pride Month, he's probably getting a lot of flack from his more conservative constituents in places like Queens, in places like Brooklyn, maybe not necessarily in Manhattan, but in some of these more outer borough places where you have large conservative populations. I'm sure he's doing the best that he can do. So anyway,
you can't please everybody,
mazel tov to you,
including me.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Hotspots magazine highlights Invincible as it honors Pulse victims through the power of music. Our Hotspots Happening Out LGBTQ lifestyle magazine, Hotspots, is back with a feature on Invincible, a landmark Pride concert from the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida, marking the 10th anniversary of the Pulse nightclub tragedy. Taking place June 19th at the Broward Center, the event will feature more than 200 voices and the world premiere of Amor Eterno, a requiem for Pulse by composer Sandra Choi. This feature story and many more are included in your free copy of the upcoming issue of Hotspots magazine on stands this Thursday, June 4th. All I'm going to say again is Happy Pride Month.
Yeah.
We have a lot of events this month.
Yes.
Happy Pride Month.
Can I comment on that beautiful, delicious graphic we just saw of that gentleman wearing Mickey ears? And I am not a Disney adult, and I'm kind of anyway. But anyway, I want to say that it's very incongruent, that you have this beautiful man, shirtless with Mickey ears, and then we're talking about, unfortunately, the Pulse nightclub shooting massacre. But I want to say also, kudos to the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida. Mm-hmm. You are a beautiful organization. Mm-hmm. I was watching some rehearsal videos of them, and they are really gearing up for a season.
Did they know you were watching?
I'm a voyeur. No, I guess, well, maybe they did. I guess it was on Instagram, so you could see who sees your stuff. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I just want to say thank you to them, and thank you to Hotspots Happening Out magazine, because your covers are on point.
Continues to sizzle.
Yes.
Right. These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. Our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, and it should be, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Vaughn Biggs, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight. I can't believe this. Brian Bender, Glen Weinzimer, Gregg Shapiro. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. to our LGBTQ plus world. We wish you a good night.